Hello, my name is Lauren and welcome to the Theoretical YouTube channel where we are definitely not alien experiments designed to conquer the universe, but you know who is? Stitch. And all 625-ish of his cousins that we are covering in this extensive 8-part series on which one of Dr. Jumbachukiba's genetic experiments is actually the most dangerous. Last time we covered everyone in the Series 0 category and determined that the ability to control all life was more powerful than a mouthful of acid. But this time we are tackling Series 1 from the Lilo and Stitch franchise, aka the Civil Disturbances series of experiments that was designed to cause social destruction and mayhem. And once again, we are talking about every single experiment that we know about from this series, so strap in and get ready for some chaos. First up on today's docket is experiment number 102, nicknamed Stop Go, whose primary function is to be a traffic light. I am really regretting doing this list in numerical order because I really wanted to start off with a bang here, but instead, this thing! How is this even supposed to be evil? Let's just move on to experiment number 110, aka Squeak, who does not get his own episode in the television series, but does first appear in Season 2, Episode 1. Squeak's main power is that he can just talk forever and annoy everyone around him.
Vanilla bean, tutti frutti, fudge nut swirl, butter pecan, apple walnut, banana chocolate chip, blackberry ice, chocolate banana hazelnut, cashew butter crunch, maple parfait, cinnamon banana walnut, lemon sorbet, coconut pineapple, key lime, pistachio, blueberry ripple.
Is this particularly dangerous? No, but it's better than a sentient traffic light. Experiment 111 is Mulch, who was introduced as one of Mrs. Hasegawa's cats alongside a ton of Series 0 experiments. Like many of the experiments that we've already covered, Mulch's main power set is tied to household chores. He mulches lawns and cuts grass. And I was pretty ready to just disregard mulch altogether, but then I remembered hearing that lawnmowers kill more people each year than sharks and bears. And according to a 2018 Washington Post article, a total of 6,394 Americans are injured in lawnmower-related accidents every year, ranging from serious cuts and burns to broken bones. The article even cites a Johns Hopkins study that found that 22% of these accidents even result in some form of amputation. So while I was initially hesitant to consider Mulch as a contender, I think that he tentatively earns a spot in this roster. And we should probably all be eyeing our lawnmowers with a little bit more trepidatious respect.
I am in so much pain!
Experiment 113 is a really interesting case. Shu's power is to give people either very good or bad luck, depending on which way his horns are turned. But what actually is luck, and how dangerous is bad luck when taken to the extreme? Luck is basically outcomes with low chances occurring, like rolling double sixes twice in a row. But if you don't want that event to happen, it's considered bad luck. The really tricky part here is determining how much of our safety is constituted by not having bad luck at any given moment. For instance, if you live on a fault line, then there's always a low probability that you're about to experience a catastrophic earthquake. So if Shu was there, couldn't he cause that earthquake? Because technically it was always a possibility. Just a possibility with a low chance of happening right at that second. And the same goes for other natural disasters like volcanic eruptions, landslides, spontaneous sinkholes. So let's put a pin in this thread and come back to it later. Number 119 is Fudgy, who leaves behind a trail of sticky, chocolatey ooze wherever he goes. Don't get on your shoes and you should be fine. Experiment 120, aka Snafu, is also kind of a tricky case. Snafu has the ability to ruin anybody's plans. It's kind of a weird ability, and he's one of the only experiments that Hamsterville doesn't want in his arsenal. Because either you don't want Snafu on your team because he'll ruin all of your evil plots, or you only want Snafu because he'll go behind the enemy ranks and ruin their plans. Is he dangerous? In a manner of speaking. It all depends on what your plans are that he's going to get in the way of. Like, he's super not dangerous if you're planning to drop a nuclear warhead, but maybe don't invite him to be backup on your hostage rescue mission. Since Snafu's powers are so circumstantial and he'd be incredibly hard to use unless you simply wanted chaos, I've decided to not advance him into the next round of considerations. Number 128 is Bugby, who can turn anyone into a bug or insect. But the weirdest implication here is that once you've been turned into a bug, you can interact with the secret bug society that exists independent of any experiment. But in terms of danger, I think that Bugby's threat level is entirely circumstantial because it all depends on who's being targeted. And the effects are reversible anyway. I feel pretty comfortable crossing Bugby off the list. Number 133 is PJ, which stands for Practical Joker. PJ's thing is setting up elaborate Rube Goldberg machines that end with somebody getting a pie to the face or something. Humiliating? Yes. Hilarious? Yes. Dangerous? Yeet. Number 134 is Shredder, another one of Mrs. Hasagawa's cats, who was designed to shred important documents. Keep a passport in a safe and you're good. Numbers 149 and 50 are Bonnie and Clyde. Both experiments have intelligence enough to speak in full sentences and old-timey gangster slang, but really they're just petty thieves.
Hey! You can't take that car!
Jumpa's index of experiment information lists their abilities as theft and evasion, which isn't particularly deadly or a real cause for concern. Sure, Clyde's got a mechanical arm, but neither of the two are powerhouses by any means. Certainly valuable players on your team, but not the most dangerous in the grand scheme of things. Number 151 is Babyfire, who actually has a similar power set to Bugby, but instead of insects, it turns people into babies, which is basically the climax of Sky High. Unrelated, but a weird trope. Anyway, Babyfire is both a little bit more and a little bit less dangerous than Bugby for different reasons. For one thing, Babyfire's effect is obviously not permanent. The babies will grow up into adults again, it just takes time. But that's quite a bit of waiting, and if a whole segment of the population was affected, I could see how society would start to fall apart. However, there is an antidote to Babyfire's effect, a concoction made from applesauce, milk, mashed bananas, and 100% Kona coffee.
Could you buy me some 100% Kona coffee? I've got the money for it.
Sorry, kid. You have to be 21 to buy the hard stuff.
Thank goodness this happened in Hawaii, I guess. So unlike Bugby, who required Jumpa's technology to reverse the effects, anyone could just happen upon Babyfire's antidote. So what's the threat level here? Honestly, unless the entire population is either turned into bugs or babies, neither of these two experiments strike me as champions from this series. Experiment number 158 is Finder, who you can probably guess flies and also finds things. Again, I really don't see how some of these experiments are even meant to be evil. I feel like Jumbo just misplaced his house keys a lot. Number 177 is Clip, who consumes the hair, which, okay, technically isn't what she was designed for. Apparently, the word Ubernium in Jumba's native language can either refer to a fuel source that's the most efficient form of energy in the entire galaxy, or hair. So she was meant to cause a massive energy crisis, but instead just gives people mohawks and sick fades. Number 199 is Nosy, the notorious gossip of the crew. Nosy also possesses human intelligence and the ability to speak, which is useful since its purpose is to spread rumors.
Hey, you're Keone! Lilo keeps a bunch of pictures of you in her diary. Boy, does she have a crush on you!
Oh, no.
He's a great spy, a good ally to the team, but not particularly dangerous in a fight. Just saying, I'd rather hear that Kai thinks my hair looks dumb than be run over by a lawnmower. Sorry, Nosy. Which leads us back to our final conclusion. After all that, who is the most dangerous Series 1 experiment? Our final contenders are Mulch, Shoe, and Baby Fire if I'm feeling generous. I'm not. So which is the most powerful experiment? Mulch or Shoe? And the thing is, I don't really know if Shoe's as powerful as I suggested he might be earlier. I don't even know if he has control over his own abilities, since he spends most of the episode feeling self-conscious that he gives people bad luck. The biggest use of his powers that we see is when he causes Nani's car to break down. Or maybe it's when he makes a gun fire at an innocent civilian. Or maybe when he makes a massive wave wash up on the beach, although it isn't exactly tsunami-sized. We also know that he often takes advantage of things teetering or being a little bit off balance. But causing these shelves in a fridge to collapse is a far cry from blowing the top off a volcano. Although, from this one rain cloud that he has following him at one point, we do know that he can affect weather patterns. Not to mention the larger storm that he causes later on, and wait a second! Shu does make a small volcano explode during the chase sequence between Stitch and Gantu when they're fighting over his containment unit. So given the constraints of his powers that we see in the show, I'm going to say that yes, Shu's powers do extend to natural disasters, but that they aren't catastrophic or world-ending. Mulch is a surprisingly dangerous experiment for only being designed to cut grass, but he just isn't a match for Shu's versatility. Manipulating luck is just a more dangerous concept than sharp blades. Meaning that the most dangerous experiment from Series 1 is experiment number 113, who will be joining Checkers in the final round 6 episodes from now. If you enjoyed this video or are looking forward to more episodes in the series, I highly suggest that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the section here down below the video. Seriously though, comments are great. We love hearing your input as to what we got right and wrong. Should I have given Bugby more credit? Is Stop Go not a useless experiment for an evil genius? Only you can decide. You can also follow us on Twitter at theory_essential to get the full recipe for Baby Fire's antidote, just in case. And support us on Patreon to have your name listed here like the incredible David W., who I would never sacrifice to experiment 119 in exchange for some delicious chocolatey ooze. But that is every single experiment that we know about from Series 1, only 5 more to go. So thanks for watching, luck is super hard to quantify, and I'll see you later.
Well, mister, I'm such a super genius, I think I know everything and never give my roommate any credit even when he's right, especially about wearing white after Labor Day.